Hello everyone, welcome to SIG Autoscaling weekly meeting for Monday the 11th of March 2024. We have some items on the agenda already. I don't know if we've got Krishna's from last week. I've not had time to look at that this past week, to be honest. Other things at work have sort of ate up my time. And I don't think we have Krishna on the call either.
Hello, my name is Poyu. I'm here on behalf of Krishna to follow up on that item. You said you hadn't had a chance to take a look, I heard?
No. Other work commitments got in the way unexpectedly, unfortunately. I should have time this week, but I thought that last week, so.
Sure, thank you.
And I guess the other point, I guess, is though that I am not anticipating a weekly SIG call next week, given KubeCon EU. So probably be the 25th before we can come back to it on the SIG call. But if either of you are at KubeCon EU, happy to talk in person there, or just comment on the issues / pull requests.
Sounds good. So you're saying offline comment too on the pull request is the best way to follow up?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want feedback within the next couple of weeks, yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Vigo.
Yeah, I'm here. So mine is a pull request that is straightforward, and the VPA has a memory save mode, which is supposed to when running on large cluster and only look at those pods that has a VPA CR config. This is just to finish that mission that we are still using the matrix client that taking snapshot for every single pod, no matter they have PACR enable or not. So this is just to finish that. Please take a look.
Yeah, so like previously I did have a short glance at the pull request. I really didn't go too much into the details, to be honest. But I was under the impression that when like later on the recommender adds those metrics to like the actual aggregations, then it would not add any metrics that don't match pods with VPAs, right? So recommender should not keep those metric snapshots actually around. It only gets them, and in the next iteration they are still like they are gone, right?
It shouldn't, but actually it keeps all. It's recurring, and it's temporarily save their snapshot of all the pods, and then comes to the next reconciliation cycle. It will take a snapshot again for every single pod. That's at least from what I observed on the live cluster, and also from the code. I just, if you look at the matrix client code, there's no differentiate, not even trying to differentiate between pods has VPA or don't have VPA. And this PI is to differentiate that.
Yeah, okay, so
yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but your audio was not very good for a second there. Okay. So I guess, yeah, we probably should take a look at it, and I guess we also should like take a look at the memory usage of the recommender in order to really test what the PR is doing. So I think in the beginning you mentioned that this is a very obvious thing, and like at least for me, by quickly looking at it, it wasn't too obvious. But yeah, if it saves a huge amount of memory for recommender, I think it should be a good thing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. In my test, obviously it's in my environment test, it can save significant memory because we only attended to config VPSCR for maybe 1% of pod in this cluster. It can take up to like 4 gig memory in the large cluster, and this can save a large amount of memory.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Yeah, so I'm not sure if I have time, like maybe next week to look at that stuff. So I can try to reserve some time to look into it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cool, thanks. El Miko.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm looking for some advice here about cluster autoscaler because I think we have maybe a bug or at least inconsistent behavior. So right now, cluster autoscaler for cluster API, we set min and max size for a node group on the cluster API resources that we use. But we have a condition where when min size is equal to max size, it looks like we don't hand the node group back to the core autoscaler to process. So obviously this is causing an issue for users who want to use the min size enforcement flag because the node group doesn't get processed, so it can't bring the minimum number up to the minimum size. So we want to fix this, and I think it seems like the best way to do it is just to allow min size to equal max size for any condition where it's like greater than 0 or something. But I wanted to come here and just see, does anyone know, do the other providers work like this? Maybe, I don't know, Guy, does AWS, can you set them equal to each other and like it behaves normally? Like, I'm just kind of curious.
I think you can set them equal to each other. I have no idea what the behavior is.
Okay.
If you were to do that, though.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, because anytime the only time we do it is we do have some ASGs where it's 1-on-1.
Right.
And so we don't actually expect any processing of it to happen at all. It's just that maintenance of it is just handed off to the ASG logic on the AWS side.
Right. So it sounds like it's still being processed though. When you have
I don't think we'd notice if it wasn't, though.
Yeah. I think the only way you would notice this is if you had the min size enforcement flag turned on and you had a node group that was below the minimum size, and then you had min size and max size equal to like something greater than that. But otherwise, like you would probably never notice this condition.
Yeah. I think it feels like it's definitely worth creating an issue for it, and I can have a play around with it and see if I can reproduce it on AWS side.
Okay. We have a cluster API issue for it that me and another community member, Max Fedotov, have been looking into. So like I think it's probably a good idea for Max to write the patch to allow this behavior, because I think we need to allow it for the min size stuff. But I just wanted to see if there was anybody else who had thoughts about this or maybe use some of the other providers like this. So, thanks, Guy.
Yeah, from that explanation, it sounds like it's sensible that it should allow that processing and use of that flag in those cases.
Right. Especially
to
when
me.
it's greater than 0. Like if it's equal to
Yeah.
0, yeah, it doesn't matter. Right. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks for talking it through with me.
No worries. Feel free to tag me in. Like I say, I will probably have a play around and see if I can reproduce it. See what happens in AWS land. But cool. That's all we've currently got on the agenda. Anyone else got anything that they want to raise this week? I guess, as I said earlier, current plan is no weekly SIG call next week due to keep it on EU. For those who are going to be there, the SIG update is the now late on the day on the Thursday. If you're wanting to attend, feel free to hit me on Slack if you're going to be in attendance. But have a good week and see you in a couple of weeks.
Cool. Thanks, Guy. Have fun at
Thanks very much.
KubeCon, whoever's going.
See ya.
Thank you. Good luck with the KubeCon.